And right about now, we're diving into the main focus in this second half of the program. Well, there was a communique issued at the end of the 95th National Executive Committee NEC meeting of the People's Democratic Party held on Wednesday, March 16, 2022 at the PDP National Secretariat Wadata Plaza, Wuse Zone 5. And of course, the National Executive Committee NEC, after extensive deliberations on issues of urgent national importance, some resolutions were made, and following that amount, this is the amount for the sales of form. For the nomination form, 500,000 naira, and for the House of Representatives, 500,000 naira for the expression of interest forms, and 2 million naira for the nomination form. Then for the Senate position, expression of interest goes for 500,000 naira, and then for the nomination form, 3 million naira. Of course, to the governorship position, expression of interest is 1 million naira, and nomination forms 20 million naira. Then for the presidency, expression of interest is 5 million naira. Mr. Joseph, you will agree that even amongst the APC, though they are yet to come up with that, but for the chairmanship position, it's also quite a thing.
Yeah, it's quite huge that we are seeing that kind of amount being, pushed out there by the People's Democratic Party. 40 million naira, it's huge. And now one gets to ask this question: what's the place of the Nigerian youth for those who desire to, pick the form to run for presidency? Remember, in 2018, the president had signed a not too young to run bill into law. But however it is, it's not a really interesting time because the former vice president of Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar, has taken a form. So maybe with our guest here, he would be able to fill us in on all of what we should know on this latest amount, tagged on the forms.
Absolutely. So that's why you could see that we are already joined by a third party on the set. He is Victor Nabo, a political affairs analyst, and he'll be sharing his thoughts with us on the place of the youth amidst this cumbersome amount. Okay, Mr. Nabo, you're smiling. Yeah. What's the smile about? Is it outside?
Well, also, it's very unfortunate that most of us do not look back and face our reality. The reality is that the Nigerian youth is not prepared or is not conditioned toward running for presidency. Because if you look at the situation at hand now, you realize that, okay, an average Nigerian youth, if the father is a millionaire, does he have the mental prowess to run for presidency? Those are the questions, because those whose parents are millionaires may not be the ideal leaders we need. But those who have the preparedness, or those Nigerian youths who are trained on leadership, may not have such money. Then what do we do in a situation like this? It means, like I've always said, the party should belong to the people. The people should get the party. If you continue to leave the party in the hands of cabal, the cabal will always hike it to suit them, knowing too well that a certain class of people who enjoy a certain level of popularity may not have access to power.
So, do you think that, fine, you made mention of that word, cabal, that word was so prominent in our political lexicon some years back, but do you think the cabal is using it as a barrier to ensure that those who can't afford it can't even come close to it?
Mr. Joe, the reality is that in a political system, if you are practicing democracy, the house you have is your political party. This political party must belong to everybody. It will belong to everybody to the extent that we contribute, we pay levies. These levies are used in running the party as a member of the party over the years. So when it comes to this, the people continue to meet. At a certain point in the meeting, they will say, look, by this guy's contribution, by this guy's exposure, let us try him. So it doesn't even come whether he has money or not. Those who now look at this guy as someone who can represent the interests of the party and the people can just gather and say, okay, let us raise money and buy form for this guy. Let us support him. Not waiting for someone who must have gone out, worked hard, maybe carry out his business, and you expect him to come back and spend the money on uncertainty. That's why I use the word cabal. You may just say, okay, look, I am going for the people. This is a lifetime ambition according to Tinubu. Now, you then bring this money to a point of uncertainty. Uncertainty, I mean, you are not even sure of being given a fair free playground, the ticket. You are not even sure of being allowed to stand for the election on equal ground. So to that extent, you'll be afraid to inject money. So it's not about the cost of the form, but being provided the free playing field to express yourself in leadership. Because at this time, there are people, you just saw what happened yesterday. While while some people are having consensus arrangement in the north, some people are having give me my power in the south. Then it has come to a point where this one says, I sponsor the party. Nobody's now talking about, everybody now, okay, as we keep talking about zoning, when are we going to talk about generational zoning? That is what you are asking. The zoning thing shouldn't be north-south. The zoning thing should come to generational thing, where we say, okay, we've had a certain generation of people who were there when we had independence, and if you look at the time we had independence to this date, the economy has not changed, nothing good has happened in the country, so there should be a generational shift in power that is equally zoning. So, but nobody talks about that. Why?
Well, now, do you feel the next generation, because given the circumstances or given the things that are on ground readily, like you said, that the mindset of an average young person is not ready for leadership, and if the mindset is ready,
I said the person is a bit. Will I say is conjured? Is structured not to run for the election
because he's not sure.
He's not sure of what is the structure doesn't favor him. The behavior of the leadership does not favor him. Doesn't give him the confidence to come into the system.
So you feel he may not, because of that, he may not even go out to pick the nomination.
He may not even go out to pick the nomination form.
Okay, there was a point you made that for those youths who may not have money to get this nomination form, that some of their friends who have seen their integrity in the past and all of that can come together and raise money. But we hardly see that in Nigeria. Instead, we see young people raising money for the elderly, the ones who have been there from 1960.
Let me also tell you something. Most time you see, they say young people buy form for those men. They don't buy. Those old men give money to people to buy form to them to make it look like as if they are popular. We have had experience in issues like this. How can a poor man buy form for a rich man? Where have you seen that? Where is getting the money from?
So the GoFundMe account.
I think that's a point. That's a point that Mr. Victor is making. Okay, so it's just a way to camouflage.
It's just a way to make it look as though they are popular, even when they are not popular.
Okay, now let me put it straight. Recently, the youths of Ikot Senatorial District bought a form to support one of the governorship aspirants in Akwa Ibom State. I'm talking about Senator.
Victor,
I have seen people that Albert.
Would you say that is the same thing?
I can agree. I won't say that is the same thing, because if you look at the commissioner that just left, he bought his Albert's friend. He can buy form. Uraki Sobara, the youth leader, has been in government. He can buy form. So to that extent, you can now see that those are the set of people that were empowered by Senator Albert, maybe knowing too well that one day he might run for presidency.
So they have the money already.
Yes, he had empowered a set of people.
So the ambitions of Senator Basi Albert has been over time since 2015.
Yes, and he has used that period. Let me also tell you something. While he was in the commissioner for finance, he was in charge of these interministerial jobs, of course, and he created that platform for a lot of youths.
So it's like doing a payback now.
It's a payback. That is a payback.
Okay.
That's how I see that.
Okay.
And again, Albert also falls within the class of people who can call youth.
Okay. Now let me quickly take you back to a meeting that we saw three powerful Nigerians. We saw Tambuwal, we saw Bala Muhammad, we also saw Saraki, the former Senate President, coming together to discuss consensus. Now, how do we discuss consensus when there are nomination forms out there? So let's look at consensus on one side, and you're already calling people to come get their forms. At the end of the day, even people who have picked their forms already, they're not even sure because consensus will play out. So let's balance. Let's try to strike a balance.
It looks like a crisis coming in there. Bala, Tambuwal, Saraki defected at the same time to join the APC from PDP to join the APC, and later again the trio defected to PDP again. So you can see there's a bond between them, and that is trying to strike a deal on who becomes the presidential ticket bearer
amongst the three of
among
them.
the three of them. That is what they are doing. It's not out of, if this is sincerity, you have already set up a committee to go and look into zoning. Why did the former vice president Atiku Abubakar run to buy form again? Then why don't they finish all their different meetings? The South South go for meeting, this one goes for meeting. You now come back together and streamline things and see how it moves. So these guys are not sincere. They are not sincere. To me, they are not sincere at all. Because you cannot break your own structure. The same structure you set up. You are the one breaking the structure again. So how do you expect the onlookers to trust the process?
Well, you're talking about structure, and there have been structures, say, the youth wing, that you said it's a cabal thing. How do you think zoning, you talked about generational zoning, how do you think that can be brought to the fore?
Have you seen any political party? Have you seen any youth in the political party also hold, at this particular period, have you also seen them hold summits? While the governors are holding summits, while the senators are holding summits to grab political power, have you seen, when will the APC or PDP youth also hold their own summit to make a statement? This is because the ones you call youth are not true reflections of the youth. They are the sponsored youth by the elders. So until you have that particular time, when the elders, when the youth come out, when somebody come out to say, I want to be a youth leader of a party, I want to be voted for as a youth leader of the party, then he will take control of the youth system or the youth structure of the party. That's when the youth can have a say. They cannot have a say when when Mr. Joe, a youth, is nominated by maybe Mr. Victor, an old man, to run for an election, to come in as a youth leader in the party. He still takes instruction from the old system. That is why I say we are yet to get off the cabal.
So just in 10 seconds, maybe one would say that because the youth do not have money to run, that's why they're supporting the elders.
I don't think it's because the youth don't have the money to run. It's because the youth are yet to realize their potentials. They are yet to have self-belief.
Well, many thanks for sharing your thoughts with us. The youths are yet to have to realize their potentials. Perhaps it's true, perhaps it's not. But Nigerian youths are ready, I presume, are ready to take up the responsibilities and maybe chance a course forward to take up the future that they say belongs to them. And many thanks, Mr. Onama, for sharing your thoughts with us on the show. It was nice having you. We look forward to another conversation of this kind. And see you guys out there. That's a show for today. Thank you for watching. My name is Otto Basitam.
My name is Joseph Young. Good morning.
And have a nice day. Bye for now.
Follow Spectrum TV everywhere you go on your Android and your iOS devices. Join our social media community. Like us, follow us, share, comment on our post, and let's get interactive. And do well to visit our website at www.spectrumtv.ng. Now you have no excuse not to be connected to the first privately owned television station in the Aqua Cross region. Spectrum Television, broadening your horizon.